I mean, a lot for me is always about thinking about the other or otherness. I think in my work it's also always been about like kind of understanding or trying to live with, other species, other humans. At some point, I mean, if we don't take care and understand those differences and take care of those differences, we will not have any left. Human history, there has been like ideas of erasure and taking away or trying to perfect the human race, and it's actually a kind of it's a mistake. It's the wrong idea. Now, extinction has already started in the sense that, of course, we interact with nature, we use nature, we eat nature. In the following room, we have a kind of, I call it kind of graveyard. I think most people know like the dodo bird became extinct back in the 17th century. But that somehow seems to be like the basic level of understanding of like species extinction. We use a new tool from the workshop to produce the plaques, which are made out of aluminum. In a sense, it's almost a kind of made as a plate for printing, for printmaking. But I wanted to have people interact with these plates. So we have paper there and some crayon for people to use to make rubbing from the plaques. I feel like this is kind of a place in the action of like rubbing whatever imagery from the plaque and whichever animal they're interested in or curious about. That would give you a little bit of moment to like reflect maybe. The print itself is made with a screen print with a particular ink. This is all like process that goes on when we're in the studio experimenting and thinking of different things, and when temperature rises to a certain degree, then the ink disappears, which in a way activate people's participation with the work. So in order to see an image behind this kind of thermal print, you have to like put your hand on it or put your body on it so that the ink kind of reacts to the heat, and then you can see what's behind. Like if the temperature becomes like warm in the world, and if it's not sitting in air-conditioned room, the print will be revealed. And I like this kind of idea that when it's the end of the world, you'll see what's behind that ink, which has covered up the actual content of the work. And then in that discussion, we discovered like the UV ink. I guess they call it solar dust. Again, it's also like ink which is reactive to temperature and light. And so I was interested in using that again to, in a way, activate the print. When we first started, it was quite difficult because in a sense that we didn't have access to like proper way to see the print. I mean, we had one little lamp, and that lamp wasn't working so well. But we knew that we needed to have like UV light in order for whoever is going to look at the work to be able to see the print. That was already before COVID, and now we come back and just as the show started, between the shop and the gallery, you found this special UV torchlight, which is perfect for the way I would like the work to be experienced, which is like for people to have their own little tool to interact with the print. We started with that first big print, and we all realized and I was saying, I want the rhinoceros to be printed in like a kind of life size. And the reason for that is because, of course, I don't want to reduce them into just an image or into just a kind of framed object, I want the scale to, of course, give us a sense of that being. It was going to be a very big print, and how are we going to move this print around? My feeling was like, yeah, we just fold it up, it's paper, you know. But in that process of that idea of folding things up, idea of origami, of course, came up, which is also like kind of interesting. Actually, origami is like a geometry that is then folded and somehow comes out into like an organic form. So it's a kind of, again, like another human trying to, I mean, with their hands, try to like make nature. Because we have this idea that I think, therefore I am, you know, like the idea that we can think and understand everything that exists in the world is not true. You need more than just thinking. You need, you know, all your senses to really understand. And I think like at this moment for people to be aware, I mean, I don't even want to talk about consciousness, you know, because we're not anymore conscious. I think just to be aware of like our actions and just to be aware of like the things that we do in our daily life and how that affects all things in the world. And you know, in the sense that even if you were just thinking like, oh, I'm just doing this here, it's not gonna, it does have like a ripple effect